Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel in our Simple Abundance year. This is our 2020 journey through Sarah Bon Browning's book Simple Abundance, and we're here to talk about 2021. This is finally the video that I've been telling you is coming. And I think if you're like me, that the end of the year is a time where you look back and you look forward. And I'm just looking through my journal here because I wanted to read a few things as I'm talking about this topic. And it's just like, what a year. And every year it's like this. I've shown you my journal before where it starts off at the beginning of the year and then I'm almost at the end of it. And I also told you, I have to redo this, but I did try to make a creative project out of covering the journal because I didn't want to have the same cover, and I even put Shine and 2021, but I'm having some issues with it, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to the drawing board and find new, I have stickers on it too, find new materials to make it work, or if I might just totally take off the vinyl and then paint it or something. I don't know. But I do love these hardcover journals, as you know, from Blue Sky. They're available at CVS. So I did pull out my journal to talk about a few things because 2021 is coming. And if you're like me, also, you've been thinking about what is the next year going to look like in terms of the pandemic situation that we're in. I started thinking about 2021 in September because that was when they were first talking about the vaccines and the real reality of the fact that we probably are looking at a similar life experience, being socially distant and wearing masks and things like that for probably till next fall. Hopefully it's not any longer than that. So I sat down and I really wanted to contemplate some things about, if this is my life, what am I going to do to try to enhance it and make the best of it? So these are some things that I pondered, and you may want to think about them also. What new solitary hobbies can I pursue? What can I work on as a 12-month project? What can I do on the vlog? So I hadn't decided what I was going to do yet on the channel, and I do have some plans that I'll share with you today. How can I still sprinkle in some fun? How can I get in much better physical shape? How can I prepare to survive if things get bad? And I think I was a little nervous about how the election was going to go at the time when I was writing this. And I don't think I had my new job yet either. So, yeah, I was a little more in the preparing mode in that way. What ways can I bring more comfort into my home? How can I still enjoy the birds from my windows? How can I connect more with nature? In what ways can I conserve money and resources? How can I stay on track with my budget, debt payoff, and saving for a new car? How can I still spend time with my friends somehow? And I should add family in there as well, because it's like, how do you do that? How can I make a living comfortably? And that was, again, where I was still trying to figure out what I was doing. How can I foster more love, self-care, acceptance into my life? What new things can I learn? How can I celebrate holidays and milestones independently? What can I look forward to that excites and inspires me? Where could I travel safely to for pleasure? How can I cook more and make that more celebratory? What can I do to beautify my home? How can I improve my outward appearance and wardrobe? How can I keep Annabelle happy and stimulated? Of course, she's right below me here where my feet are. She's my co-host on the channel. We have to keep her happy, right? So those are some things that I sat down to think about. I don't have the answers to all of them, but what I did think about the most was that I really feel like I've struggled this year with something to look forward to. Remember I said to you in a recent video that there was a quote about the key to happiness. Something to do, someone or something to love, and something to look forward to. And when I've struggled with depression, I feel like I can't think of anything that's going to be exciting. And I do work with a therapist, and at the end of a session she would say, well, what are you looking forward to this week, or what is going to be your self-care or something? And it's just because life has been so different with this pandemic. I had a lot of hobbies that were related to being with other people. So I've struggled to have things that I'm excited for. So that leads me to one big thing that I'm going to be doing for 2021, and I will be sharing it on the channel. I had an idea that I wanted to have something to look forward to. And yes, we have the joyful simplicities if you're going to continue on with some of Sarah's things from the book. But I came up with this idea because you know how there's so many subscription boxes out there? I was kind of looking through them and seeing if I wanted to get one, maybe for like crafts or something. And then I decided, what if I ask 12 people in my life to send me a secret day? Like, it could be as simple as, I could be staying home, I could be making certain food, I could be watching a movie, snuggling with Annabelle, or it could be an adventure on the road. Like, the parameters that I gave them were that I'm willing to spend up to $100 on whatever it is, and it's like, so they're coming up with a special surprise day, and it's one per month. So I actually made envelopes for each month, and I decorated them with stickers. Of course I did, right? And so they've been coming in over the last couple weeks, and I'm going to open them with you at the beginning of each month, and I won't know what's in there. And I have some family members that have contributed. I have friends that were really excited about it, and in fact I had 2 different friends that were saying like they were having trouble just coming up with one particular one to send me. So that's my something to look forward to. And I wonder if other people will like the idea. I didn't ask them to spend any money. It's not like they had to send me gift cards. And I will say that, remember I shared with you in a video over the last month about my friend who did send me gift cards for places all around. That's what sort of inspired me, because I felt so uplifted by the fact that I had these gift cards, and then when my therapist asked me that week what was I going to look forward to, I thought, well, I'm going to go use one of my gift cards, and I'm going to go and get chips and queso at Moe's. That was what I did. So I was looking forward to that. Like, that was something really small. So I thought, well, if that lifted my spirits, what if I had these little secret special days for the whole year? So that's going to be the main thing that I'm focusing on for something to look forward to. And I'm working on something to love. I have my cat, but I will be focusing on the things that I love, and of course keeping up with the gratitude from Sarah's book. And also I will continue with my journal and everything. And I want to share on the channel some plans that I have and some other things that I'm going to do personally in my own life. So these are just some ideas that I came up with. I don't know that I'm going to do all of these. So I have my monthly experiences from the friends. I love watching movies, and so I contemplated, how about having a movie group? Like, recently I invited some friends to watch Frozen with me, all virtually at the same time, and we were chatting on Facebook during it and everything, and so something as simple as that. And I thought about, like I said, getting a subscription box, possibly some sort of a craft related one. I want to still find a way. I'm really missing my trivia that I used to do every week at the pub. So I'm going to try to find a way to do trivia. I have found that there are some virtual things that are happening in that respect. I also thought, what if even if I don't get a subscription box, what if I do a craft or art project once a month? I also have some books in mind that I want to get, and I will share too that one of my 12 gifts from one of my friends that sent me all the gifts for Christmas this is a book called The Positivity Kit. So I'm planning to do this. It's really cute. It's very artistic inside of it, and so it is small as something like list out the good choices I've made in my life so far is what this one is. So I'm thinking about doing that. I also was looking into a book called A Year of Positive Thinking, and I'm not totally sold on whether I'm going to do that or not, but I have thought about some other books. I don't know that I'm going to do this one, but I thought about setting a goal for myself to watch any of the Best Picture movies that, like the ones that won Best Picture for the Oscars that I haven't seen. And I did a spreadsheet, and there's about 90 of them that I haven't seen, but there's 130 or something. So I have watched a lot of them, but a lot of the ones I haven't seen are really, really old movies. I don't know if I'm going to do that. And also I thought about another book too. I've mentioned a few of Cheryl Richardson's Art of Extreme Self-Care Challenges, but could potentially bring that to the channel as well. And remember I talked about the Action for Happiness organization and the calendars that they do. I could potentially share those with you guys too. So the books that I'm thinking about, I mentioned Cheryl's Art of Extreme Self-Care. I'm thinking of a book that I also mentioned in another video. It's called Madly in Love with Me. I'm thinking about a book called Enough. These are books that I have not read or explored. I mean, the Art of Extreme Self-Care I have, but and I've read Madly in Love with Me, but I've never shared it as a project, sort of like what I did with Simple Abundance. I have read the 4 Agreements, but not for a long time. I've also keep seeing things for the Untethered Soul, so that's a possible one. The Power I mentioned a few times. Not The Power of Now, actually. I don't know that I mentioned The Power. It's by Rhonda, the woman that wrote The Secret. I like that book, The Power. So I have read that one. I did read for you guys in one video back when we were talking about the home, Dr. Dyer's book, The Secrets of 10 Secrets for Success. I forget. And then I also showed you guys my You Can Heal Your Life workbook. That's another thing I thought about. So I know this is all over the place, but this is, again, just me brainstorming, and I think this was back in October when I made that list of things. So now I want to tell you about the word for 2021 that I've mentioned. And guess what I found out? So I've chosen a word for the last 4 or 5 years. That's just something I thought of. But I was, again, something that was suggested to me on YouTube. I'm just on YouTube, and I saw this video that was suggested to me, and it was something about it was called One Little Word. So it was like my one little word. So I clicked on it, and I found out there's actually a woman out there that has this whole program, and she started this back in 2006. And she calls it One Little Word. And she has a whole program around the fact that you pick a word, like I have for a long time, and you do things with it. And she has even like a virtual program that you can do all year with her. And it's interesting because I've already been doing a lot of these things, or I'd already thought of them. And so I will cite her program in the notes here, but I didn't even know it existed until last week. So it's pretty interesting. So I have been choosing this word. And again, to mention my therapist once more, she did ask me when I told her, okay, I've picked my word and it's going to be shine. And she loved it, and I'll tell you all the reasons, and she liked the reasons too. And so she said to me, well, what do you do with the word? And I said, well, in the past I've I've tried to make it visible in my house. I've tried to think about what it means to me and how I see it working with parts of my life. And and I think I'll wait to finish up what she said about that afterwards, because I want to share more about how I came to the word and everything. So when I was thinking about 2021, well, the first thing that I thought of was like ascension or progression or movement or momentum, because if you think about the numbers 20 and then it's followed by 21, it seems like it's like movement, right? It's flow. So I threw around a bunch of words. I threw around flow. I thought about fun, because I'm really trying to bring more fun. I thought about positive. I actually had a list, and it's on another page in the journal. So I went through a whole bunch of words. And then I thought of shine. And I thought, well, that's because I thought of bright, and then shine came to me. And I started to think more about it. And some of my words from the past have just been like, think about the word joy. It's not, it is a thing, I guess, but it's not a verb. Joyful would be well, that's the adjective, right? But I mean, I suppose my balance is something that could also be a verb, but in most cases, I'm just trying to say that my words have sort of been inactive. They've just been kind of like a description of the year. And when I thought about shine, I thought, wow, it's actually like something can have a shine, or you can shine. And I want to tell you, these are just my thoughts as I was journaling about it, as I came to it. I thought of some things, like some regular sayings, like rise and shine. And remember, I said that I thought about ascension and progression in terms of 2021. Well, I think if you're rising, you are ascending. So I also like that too. So rise and shine. And I'm going to look for a little sign to put by my bed, I think, for 2021. And so what do you think of when you think of shine? You think of bright, shiny things, right? You think of lights that shine. You think of the sun shining. The moon, but the moon is a reflection, right? So something that shines can also be like a reflection of something that was bright that's now shining back. So that was another thing I thought was cool. I also thought you can shine up something that's dull. So I thought, well, I want to sort of brighten up my life and sort of like get the cobwebs out and sort of shine myself up, right? So I was thinking about that. And when you shine, it affects others, right? They notice it. Maybe there's warmth, maybe there's light that they didn't have. So I thought it's a positive, like it positively affects others. And then I did look up the Webster's Dictionary, which is shining exudes uniqueness, standing out, excelling, doing your best, and being talented, right? Because you're shining. Like you could be up on stage and you're shining, you're bringing forth your gifts and your talents to the world, and it's seen. I also mentioned the warmth. It's associated with warmth. Sprucing up and improving, to be a bright reflection. And then these are some words that were sort of synonyms when I looked it up. Brilliance, radiate, beam, luminance, luster, glow, glimmer, and glisten. I like all of those. Oh, and then there were some other things that came to my mind too, like when someone says take a shine to, like I took a shine to that. Like it was like I was akin to it, or I took a liking to it. How about rain or shine, right? That would be about resilience and reliability. Like I'm going to be there, come rain or come shine. Shining through, that could also be about surviving. And then also another thing, I don't know if this was in the dictionary. It must have been, because I would never have just said this. So to be immediately apparent is another word, which, is something that, like, you obviously see something that's shining. And to me, being apparent also connected with being authentic, which is all the things that we've been talking about this year. And source of light is another thing related to shine. And so obviously I liked the source part of that. And also, if it's the verb, it's to bring light focused on something. So here I'm going to tie this back to how my therapist asked me. She made the suggestion. She said, have you thought about how this word connects with your depression? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, if you think about depression being like you're in the darkness, and if you've suffered depression, you realize that you are. And she thought, what if we're shining a light on that? And I thought about it in another way too, because we're starting to work on some specific things. And so if I'm doing this to bring light focused on something, then maybe I'm like Nancy Drew with my flashlight, kind of like going through and figuring out what my issues are, and how to bring like a positive spin to, say I have negative thoughts in the darkness, and then bringing the light to those and trying to change that. So I hadn't really thought about that, and I liked her suggestion. Shining your light in the darkness for others as well, lighting the way. So I've had some people in my life say to me, and especially some of you that I know personally that watch my channel, have said something like, you should be a coach, you're so good at speaking about all these things. But to me, I sort of feel like I don't know that I could do that, because I have so many of my own struggles. But I do try to be a light for others, and I feel like this channel has allowed me that avenue, even though sometimes I'm in the darkness when I come on. But I do hope that through the channel that there's a light and a brilliance coming from me, I guess. So when I was looking up the one little word, I thought about some of the things that she suggests, because she has products. Like, say I wanted to, I could go on her website and I could order all these things. Like, I could get a mug that says shine. I could have shine everywhere in things. And remember, I showed you my Happy Planner stickers where I found the year to shine? Well, I just couldn't resist. I'm going to use this as a notebook, not as a planner, but this is one that says your year to shine. How could I not get that? So I will be using that more as a notebook. And in fact, they also had, this has rainbow on it, and it says choose to shine. Do they both say that? Let me see. There's two things. Yeah, choose to shine. It just goes around in a circle on the rainbow. So those will be some fun little note paper for that. And then also, I was at Hobby Lobby when I got that. So I also saw, when you think about shining, it's bright, right? So I saw this thing that said bright ideas. And I thought I'd get that too, because I haven't totally decided what I might do with this, but I might use it as more of like an inspirational thing, like things that just sort of come to me throughout the year. Just if I get, remember we talked about when if you're open and you receive a thing like that, you might invent something or whatever, but you have to be open to it. So I might just take note and start writing down any bright ideas. So back to what I was saying about my word and how I can incorporate it into my life a bit more. This one seemed like it was a little more fun than, like, say, well, I guess balance. I could have thought about having, balance in decorating, or I don't know. aside from having the word around, I don't feel like the other ones that I've had in the past would be as fun as this, because I started thinking about like how can I bring the shine into my life in other ways. So I thought, well, why don't I, I have a lot of jewelry, so like why don't I try to be like shiny with jewelry? Or I might start to like get some more jewelry that's shiny, or just have some shiny things around. Like maybe get some prisms or something like to hang in the window, that reflect the light. Oh, I also thought this was interesting. I don't know what the woman that has the One Little Word program does specifically, but when I put that into YouTube or Google, I see a lot of people showing things that they've done with their one word. So some people that are really into scrapbooking have done a scrapbook on the word. So I started to think, well, like what would my shine scrapbook look like? And I'm thinking, well, it could be kind of like our illustrated discovery journal, where I'm putting things in there that are shiny, like images that I find. It could be that I go back and look at my pictures from my life and I find moments where I feel like that was amazing and I was really shining at that time. And then I guess I could also put things in there from 2021 that ended up shining. I don't know. So it's just a thought about, I don't know that I'll make a scrapbook, but that was an interesting thought. So also I wrote make lists of the way that I will shine, which would be like the goals. And go back and watch my video on the channel about my planner if you haven't seen that one. I think it's the second video on the channel. And I meant to say not my planner, my journal, because I will be setting up my journal for 2021 in a similar way that I normally do, and I shared all of that. And then I'm gonna reach for this. I told my friend I didn't actually blend one for 2020, so I want to blend a little essential oil spray for, this was when my year of peace. I didn't do one for 2020, but I would like to make a little essential oil spray and then like name it and everything for the year and like spray it around, because I have to say I haven't sprayed this much. I didn't spray it really in 2020, but when I made this for 2019, I would, I'd be here at my desk and I would just be kind of like, I'd spray it around and smell it and just think like I'm spraying the piece around. So it's not meant to be like a perfume or anything, but it's just more like getting that essence in the air. So I want to make a little essential oil smell for my shine idea. I thought I could get a keychain, maybe so that would be something that would be with me. I also could think about, like a case for my device with like a sun on it or something like that. Do I want a mug that says shine? I think I'm okay. I have several mugs. I have plenty of stickers now that say shine. I don't have a sign yet. I like the rise and shine idea though, by the bedside table. Yeah, and I'm just saying the things like shine the light on issues in therapy and shine onto depression. Yeah. So I love my word shine. I'm really happy with my word shine. I hope that you think about a word for your year. Oh, I found the page. So some of the other words I thought of, I mentioned flow, freedom, onward. I also thought about that. That was neat because it's sort of like that progression. Progress, grow, release, ascend, fun, smile, glow. I think glow is how I came up with the shine after that. Soar, hope, and I already said progress, but progression too. So if you need any inspiration, there's a whole bunch of them, but I like the fact that the word is a verb, and so I'm going to aspire to shine in 2021. And I'm feeling really good about my special little 12-month project with the little unknown days. So it's not only fun to just know that people took the time to do that, but it's fun that I don't even know which one is going to be in which envelope. And yeah, I don't think I would have had as much fun if I personally came up with each idea. So I like the fact that it's going to be unknown. It's something that that person thought that I would enjoy to do. And I did say, because I have friends and family that are out of state, so I did say, please look online for things that are nearby if you are wanting me to like get takeout at a certain place or something like that. So that's my plan, and like I said, I'm still considering some topics to bring to the channel. Like what I'm thinking is that, so say I listed off a few of those books. So say I decide that it's going to be the book Madly in Love with Me or something. I'm thinking that it might be like a month or 6 week long sort of thing about how we're talking about that specific one, and then move on to another one. I don't feel like I'll have as much of structure. I don't want to like hold myself to being on every day, or having the book to read every day. I think it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm really glad that I did it. I think that actually I know that I wouldn't have followed through with the entire year had I not had the channel with you guys. So remember, I said at the beginning of the year that was a part of why I was doing it. It was accountability to keep me on track. And I'm definitely not going to be forgetting about Simple Abundance, and I probably will mention it, and may even on occasion open up to maybe an entry that I didn't do a video on in 2020 and share something. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you are going to choose a word. Let me know what you're planning on, like for a way to mark the new year coming and the old one passing. Because I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of journaling. I'm going to set up my new planner with all fresh pages, and I'm going to be making my lists of things that I do every year as I'm setting up my planner. I'm going to try to figure out how to beautify the cover of it so that I'm happy with it and that the stickers are not peeling off. Thanks for watching. I hope that you are starting to get a little bit jazzed about 2021, even if we don't really know what to expect. Oh, and I hope you're thinking about doing a time capsule like I did and shared with you on the last video as I was opening it up after almost a year, because it's pretty interesting to do that, obviously. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.